If you're into retro PC games or want to get into them, you need to know about GOG, because Steam doesn't cut it. By the way, this is not sponsored content. I wish my channel would be that big for GOG to pay me to make a video about their service, but alas no, this is just me trying to help. GOG has several advantages, which I'll quickly list now and go into detail later. It has by far the largest number of older, vintage, retro, call them what you want, PC games that you can acquire legally through digital means. All their games are DRM-free. They have special sales and discounts running basically at all times of the year. Their launcher called GOG Galaxy is optional. The majority of the games work straight out of the box, though more on this later, and they are dedicated to the preservation of old PC games. And especially with that last one, you can kinda see why I'm making this video. GOG is an online distribution platform founded in 2008 by CD Projekt Red, which you may know as the developers of the Witcher series and Cyberpunk 2077. GOG initially stood for good old games, and that's because initially they only had older PC games. At a certain point, they started distributing newer ones and offering early access titles as well, so they rebranded to GOG or GOG. That said, it still remained the primary platform for older PC games, but that sorta took a bit of a backseat of sorts in terms of its messaging, at least until recently. The GOG library runs very deep indeed, whether we're talking about back in time or genre-wise. Sure, I mainly focus on CRPGs and strategy titles, but you can easily see there's all manner of titles on here. And here's a bit of a power user tip. If you're like me and are interested in games from only a certain time period, they have a really cool filter that will only show you the games they have that were released in between the years you're interested in. You're welcome. One of the biggest benefits is that all of its games are DRM-free. This means that you can download and install your games without having to worry about any restrictions or limitations. You can also play your games on any computer you want, as long as it meets the minimum system requirements. And with most games from more than 15 years ago, that shouldn't be much of an issue nowadays. Many of the games present on GOG are bona fide classics that are still popular today, or should be, according to me. And because this is a digital distribution platform, they can offer these older games at a much lower price than you would find if you were looking for a physical version of some 20-year-old game.
I've just locked an open door. Strange, yet symbolically compelling.
The numerous discount periods throughout the year will apply to older games as well, thus making them even more affordable, depending on the season. GOG also has its own game launcher, called GOG Galaxy. This is a great way to keep track of all your games, download updates, have achievements, and keep track of playtime. However, the launcher is optional, so you can use the games that you download from GOG without it if you prefer. And this is worth repeating. You don't need to be online to play GOG games, you don't need the launcher to play the games, all you need is the installation kit and you'll be all set. Most games will work without any sort of issue, but some won't actually work out of the box on all setups and operating systems. Usually you can get away just with modifying the compatibility settings from within Windows, but GOG also has a community aspect with forums where you can get help if you're having trouble getting a game to work. It's not a guarantee, mind you, but the relevant forums will at least point you in the right direction of either finding a high resolution mod or towards a GL wrapper to make things work, that sort of thing. I think GOG is important for the overall goal of preserving retro PC games. GOG makes it easy for people to find and play classic games that they might otherwise have forgotten about. Sure, they're still a commercial enterprise and will have to make for-profit decisions. That is unfortunately the nature of the animal. However, the ability to download the install kits allows us to create our own individual archives, and that is crucial for collectors such as myself, as well as anyone who prefers to own the things they pay money for. Buying and installing games from GOG is easy. Simply create an account and then browse the library of games. Once you find the game you want to buy, add it to your cart and check out, much like you would do on any other online purchasing platform. You can then download and install your games individually or by using the launcher, which also, by the way, allows you to manage the digital games you have from other digital platforms. This has been a Retro PC Gaming public service announcement, more or less, hoping that anyone who needed this information found it informative. I won't ask you to subscribe if you like this video because this is really not what I normally do here. What I want to ask is for you to consider watching the video on screen right now and then decide whether you'd like to become a subscriber. I've been Steven Hansen, thank you very much for watching and have a great rest of your day.